Hello, and welcome to the very first podcast of Contemporary Conservatism. Um, this is a podcast that I've been wanting to put together for quite a while. Um, Most of it has just been, the fact that as a young American, it's been hard to be a conservative and have people not, you know, make a joke out of it and say that you're not a real student and this, that, and the other thing. Well, what I'm going to go over today in episode 1 is what is the idea of contemporary conservatism. Contemporary conservatism as an entire idea can best be understood by breaking it down. Contemporary, at its most basic form, means new or modern, and that's the easy part, right? Conservatism, at least in terms of politics, is a much harder point to tackle. Over time, the word conservative has become kind of a punchline, and it's often coupled with backhanded comments about right-wing extremism and something about the Westboro Baptist Church, and we'll go over that later. The truth is, what conservatism is it's the basic understanding and belief that the founding fathers of the United States knew what they were doing and that the Constitution is the supreme law in the United States. With this idea applied to the definition of a contemporary situation, of contemporary existence, we can say that contemporary conservatism is the idea of modern conservatism. And by this I don't mean that our practice of conservatism is inherently different from the traditional practice of conservatism that, your grandma and grandpa might have observed back in the day, because we all primarily believe in the same thing. So what's the real difference? The major difference is that conservatism is traditionally based upon faith. Most conservatives in the United States are Christian people. That is not to say at all that that is a bad thing. Don't misunderstand me at all. I personally am a God-fearing, gun-toting, family-loving, conservative Republican. But here's the thing. You don't need to be a Christian to be a conservative. If there's one thing you take away from episode 1, is that you do not need to be a Christian to be a conservative. That is 100% the truth. You don't need to be a Christian to be a conservative. Traditional conservatism is coupled with the idea that if you are a conservative, then you must be a Christian. And I realize that this is a generalization. It's not 100% accurate. But as a generalization, admitting that it's a generalization, back in the day, they assumed that if you were a conservative, you must have been a Christian. And the problem with that is that it also goes both ways. So traditional liberals, if there is such a thing, also assumed that if you are not a Christian, then you must be a liberal. If you are an atheist, primarily, then you must be a liberal. And that's absolutely untrue. My goal as the primary voice of the contemporary conservative community is to show you why conservatism isn't just where Christians flock politically. It's where thinkers flock. It's where leaders flock. It's where people who can recognize that the world doesn't owe them anything flock. It's where hard workers, truth seekers, and intelligent young Americans flock. And hopefully, after visiting this channel a few times, it'll be where you flock. Now feel free, stick around, check out other newer topics here on the Contemporary Conservatism channel. And if you find one that you like, be sure to promote it in any way that you can. Word of mouth is one of the most powerful God-given tools we have. So, share, like, subscribe, follow, and thanks again for dropping by.